What if I told you that the key to unlocking your full potential lies in breaking free from the chains of procrastination? Imagine achieving everything you've set out to do: career goals, personal projects, or life-changing ambitions, all without the constant internal battle of "I'll do it later." You've heard about the success stories of those who rise above the noise and make it happen. But how do they do it? So here are 10 ways to overcome procrastination and start winning today. But before starting, don't forget to subscribe and give our videos a thumbs up and hit the bell button. Let's start from number 10. Number 10. Recognize and acknowledge your procrastination. What if the first step to overcoming procrastination was simply admitting you're doing it? It might sound simple, but recognizing when you're procrastinating is more powerful than it seems. The act of putting things off often starts as a subconscious habit, and before you know it, hours or even days have passed. But how do you break free from this trap? Acknowledge your procrastination without judgment. Instead of beating yourself up over it, approach it with curiosity. Ask yourself, why am I avoiding this task? Am I afraid of failure? Overwhelmed by the scope? Or is it just something I find tedious? By understanding the root causes, you take the first step toward reclaiming control and shifting your mindset. Number 9. Break tasks into smaller, achievable goals. What if you could transform an overwhelming mountain of work into a series of manageable hills? Procrastination often stems from the sheer size or complexity of a task. When faced with something large and daunting, your mind naturally resists the idea of starting. But what if the secret to getting started was to shrink the task down to something smaller and less intimidating? By breaking tasks into smaller, actionable goals, you create a sense of accomplishment with each step. Instead of seeing the whole project as an insurmountable obstacle, you start to view it as a collection of smaller wins. These wins will keep you motivated and build momentum to complete the larger task. Number 8. Set clear deadlines, even for self-assigned tasks. What if you could trick your brain into treating a self-assigned task like a deadline-driven project at work? Often, procrastination thrives when there are no external pressures or deadlines. Without a firm time constraint, it's easy to push things aside for another day. But what if you could create your own sense of urgency? Set specific deadlines for yourself, just like you would if someone else were waiting for your work. Whether it's a personal project or an important task at work, putting a deadline on it forces you to take it seriously. A looming deadline triggers the brain to switch gears from casual thinking to action. Number 7. Eliminate distractions to create focused work time. What if the key to productivity wasn't working harder, but working smarter by eliminating distractions? In our digital age, distractions are everywhere. From social media notifications to endless YouTube videos, it's easy to get sidetracked. But what if, instead of multitasking, you dedicated a set time to focus solely on the task at hand? Eliminate distractions by creating a workspace that promotes concentration. Turn off your phone, close irrelevant tabs on your browser, and set clear boundaries with others during your focused work time. The more focused your work time, the faster you'll finish, and the less time you'll waste. Number 6. Use the 5-minute rule to get started. What if you could trick your brain into starting by promising yourself just 5 minutes of work? The hardest part of overcoming procrastination is often the initial hurdle of starting. Once you begin, momentum builds, and it becomes easier to continue. But how do you get yourself to start in the first place? Enter the 5-minute rule, a simple but effective technique. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. Once you've started, you'll likely find that it's easier to keep going. The mental resistance to starting is the hardest part, and once it's overcome, the task usually feels much more manageable. Number 5. Use positive reinforcement to reward yourself. What if you could motivate yourself to keep going by celebrating every small win? Procrastination often stems from a lack of motivation. But what if you could change your relationship with the task by rewarding yourself for progress? Positive reinforcement can be a powerful tool in combating procrastination. After completing each small goal, reward yourself. It could be a short break, a treat, or even just a moment of relaxation. By rewarding yourself for every accomplishment, you reinforce the habit of taking action. The more you associate productivity with positive feelings, the less likely you are to put things off. Number 4. Visualize the benefits of completing the task. What if you could make your future self proud by visualizing the satisfaction of completion? One powerful technique for overcoming procrastination is to focus on the end result, the benefits you'll reap once the task is complete. Where you can vividly imagine the satisfaction and relief of finishing a project, it makes it harder to ignore it. Visualize how completing the task will positively impact your life. Whether it's the sense of accomplishment, the praise from others, or the feeling of relief, use these images to motivate yourself. Number 3. Develop a routine to build consistency. What if consistency was the key to unlocking your productivity potential? Procrastination often thrives in environments where there's no structure. When you're unsure of when or how to tackle a task, it's easy to put it off for another day. But what if a consistent routine could help you defeat procrastination once and for all? Developing a daily routine that includes dedicated time for tasks can help you build consistency and create momentum. By making certain activities non-negotiable, like setting aside time each morning to tackle your most important work, you remove the need for constant decision-making. Your routine becomes a roadmap to productivity, making it easier to start each day with a clear focus and a plan. Number 2. Accountability. Share your goals with someone else. What if having someone else hold you accountable could be the missing ingredient in overcoming procrastination? While self-discipline is important, many people struggle to stay on track when they're working alone. But what if the secret to staying motivated was to share your goals with someone else? Accountability partners are a powerful tool for overcoming procrastination. By sharing your goals with a friend, colleague, or mentor, you create a sense of responsibility. Knowing that someone else is checking in on your progress can be a huge motivator. Number 1. Change your mindset. Focus on action, not perfection. What if the key to overcoming procrastination wasn't about doing everything perfectly, but simply taking action? Perfectionism is one of the leading causes of procrastination. The fear of not doing something perfectly often paralyzes us, leading to inaction. But what if you could embrace the idea that imperfect action is still better than no action at all? Shift your focus from perfection to progress. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment to begin, accept that taking imperfect action is part of the process. By making progress, no matter how small, you build momentum that leads to greater results. Successful people know that taking action, even when it's not perfect, is the fastest way to overcome procrastination and achieve their goals. So what do you think? Could these strategies be the breakthrough you need to stop procrastination in its tracks? Which strategy do you think would make the biggest difference in your productivity? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more tips on overcoming obstacles and achieving success.